What is the best choice for improving cheek and chin volume? Implants, fat grafting, or injectables? I am 35 and looking to enhance my cheeks and chin. I had Radiesse injected in both cheeks and in my chin and loved the look. 1 cc per cheek and 0.5 cc in chin. But 2 years later, my cheeks have deflated back to normal. Can you tell me which way will provide a more permanent, natural look that will improve the proportions of my face between traditional implants and the newer fat grafting? Or are neither of these preferable, and should I just stick to getting the injectables every couple of years?
Thank you for your question. You're 35 years old. You've submitted with your question several photos that are very helpful. And you state that you've had Radiesse injection in the cheeks and chin, and you mentioned the volumes, and you state that you really liked the results. And 2 years later, things have deflated, and you want to ask about other options, whether it's surgical, fat grafting, or whether to stick with fillers. Well, I can certainly give you my perspective on a question like this for people like yourself who come to my practice. A little bit of background: I'm a board-certified cosmetic surgeon and fellowship-trained oculofacial plastic and reconstructive surgeon. I've been in practice in Manhattan and Long Island for over 20 years, and the evolution of solutions for what you describe has been something that I've been very actively involved with over the 20 years of my practice. Now, understand, when you ask this question, every doctor comes to the table with their own personal experience and bias. And certainly, I can share with you the basis for what I would recommend and see if this makes sense to you, and then decide whether that's the approach that you'd want to take. So prior to the injectable fillers, there was facial implants and fat grafting. Now, the advantage of facial implants, like a cheek implant, was that it was being placed on the bone structure, directly on the structure where there's a relative volume deficit, which I believe is maybe part of what your situation is. And so that made a lot of sense because it was really augmenting the bone. The challenge sometimes is with relatively thin skin and the shape of those implants, sometimes people felt they were maybe too large, not quite the look they wanted, and that is one potential drawback. Now, when it comes to an area like the chin, it's fairly straightforward because chin augmentation with the facial implant is a very good approach for long-term benefit in this area. So it's something that's probably worthwhile considering and entertaining. Now, when it comes to the other options, such as fat grafting has improved as a method and with better understanding of the physiology of fat. What unfortunately still remains a constant is the predictability, the challenges to predictability. No matter who does this type of procedure, there's always going to be a certain amount of fat that makes it and a certain amount that does not. I personally feel also that for the type of look you're trying to achieve, you are probably better with something that's more closer to the deeper structures, closer to the bone. So with fillers like Radiesse, which was placed probably just under the skin, you were happy with that result. I think that with fillers like Radiesse and fillers that I prefer to use, such as newer hyaluronic acid fillers that are thicker and last for longer periods of time, like Juvederm Voluma, we use a method called structural volumizing. This is kind of a balanced, a hybrid approach where you get the benefit of the principle of implant based augmentation where you're placing things on the bone, but you get the reliability and customization that you can do with the filler. So I think that in your situation, I would go with structural volumizing with a filler like Juvederm Ultra Plus or Juvederm Voluma. You can get similar longevity of approximately 2 years, and let's say you wanted a little bit more, you come into the office, and in a few minutes, a little bit more can be placed. That type of customization is really great. You've eliminated the unpredictability of fat. You've eliminated the surgical element of surgical implant placement, which is a very big deal. And again, if it depends. I mean, it can be these procedures for implants can still be within a short period in terms of recovery. But when it comes to thinking of the predictability and the customization, it is really wonderful being able to do structural volumizing. This is different than placing the filler under the skin, where there may be some benefit for you as well, because there's obviously, or apparently, a relatively thin layer of skin between the skin and the underlying bone structure. You're very lean. So it can be at the bone level between the bone and the muscle, and then at the just below the skin level between the muscle and the fat. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and I think that given that an important element to your physiology is that it's continuously changing, and so in terms of facial structure, and so you might lose a little bit of weight, gain a little bit of weight, and in that respect, the fillers can really be adjusted to compensate or to be adjusted to not place as much. So I think that you were probably starting off with a good thing, and I would say injectables is the way to go, but understand that there are different methods to doing these injectables, and so that's where I think structural volumizing is something that may be worth exploring for you. So I hope that was helpful. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for your question.